Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Welcome to Chicago Sports Podcast, Monsters of the Madhouse. We are happy to have you along with us tonight. Can't believe it's already the middle of the week. That's why everything is going by so fast right now, and there's so much to get to, as you can imagine, this time of the year. So thank you guys watching on our YouTube channel. Make sure you share this video, share it with everybody, share it with your friends, share it with your family. Anybody that's a diehard Bears fan, share it, and then you can like and subscribe as well. And we'll get your notifications popping up when a new video comes about. We got an all-star cast with us tonight. I'm excited to work with everybody here because not only do we have Plank. Plank, it's good to see you tonight. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Good to see you.
We got Uncle Brian. Uncle Brian, it's always good to see you. And Brian, the other Brian, boy, I'm gonna get lost here at some point, guys. The 5,000 directions between the Brian and the Brian. It's gonna go all over the place. But we got Brian from Louisville. Brian, it's good to see you again, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while. I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah, I know, man. I've just been kind of hiding out, just like in the back. So thank you guys. I see people already getting into the chat here. We got Brandon and Jerome. Thank you guys very much. And we got a lot to get to, and we're talking free agency. Now, free agency begins on March 10th, and the big talk, of course, with the Bears is the offensive line, especially after this week. We heard from Brian Poles. We heard from Ben Johnson talking about just what they're looking for, how aggressive they want to be in free agency, and that brings us to the offensive line, where I think a lot of us think, and they kind of alluded to that's where they're going to start, and the big name is Trey Smith. The question is, are we going to get Trey Smith, or are the Chiefs going to resign Trey Smith? For the longest time, I really thought that he was going to be hitting free agency. However, there is a report in the Athletic saying that could be a possibility of the Chiefs doing everything they can and putting all the resources in place to resign him. It was pretty interesting, too, because their GM, Brett Veach, was talking the other day as well. Now, he was just giving the GM I like to say the GM talk, guys. He was kind of giving the GM talk, giving the overview of what they would like to see. And obviously, they would like him back, but it's going to be about the financial and how much they're going to be able to bring him back. How much is he going to cost? I think it's going to be anywhere between 20 and 25 million for a guy that's a 6th-round pick, a guy that's going to be looking to get paid. I think they're going to have a hard time bringing him back, but I think that would be the first guy the Bears are going to target. And I just don't know. It's a 50-50 Plank when you start thinking about Trey Smith.
Yeah. I mean, right at first, we thought that they weren't going to do anything with him, the Chiefs, and now it sounds like they're going to try to figure out how to bring him back. They're looking at maybe, I guess, that the average market for guard is around 21 million. They're looking for him to be around 25 million. Can they make that work? I don't know. I think we can. We definitely can. And it'd be nice. We wouldn't have to give up any draft capital for him. He's definitely the first guy to go after.
Brings up a good point there, Brian. When you start thinking about the money situation for this, and it's free agency, and you overspend in free agency, we know that, but we also know we have a lot to do on our offensive line, and this would be the first start of it for getting a guy like Trey Smith in here.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Chiefs have like 7.9 million according to Over the Cap. I don't think, regardless of how bad they want him, that they're going to have an opportunity to sign him. I think if his agent at all is with the combine, you best believe there's some tampering involved there. They're going to know for sure whether or not they can afford him or not. He'd be, ridiculous to, as far as his client goes, and not book that guy. It would be insane. You gotta let that guy hit free agents, hit market, or you're just not doing your job as an agent. As far as, I hate to talk like this, but saying if they do find a way, they're going to have to restructure Patrick Mahomes, move some of that money and signing bonus, and they're going to have to come out of pocket as far as the the owners of the Chiefs go, and I just don't think that's going to happen. I mean, they really don't. I mean, they 7.9. That's barely enough to cover your rookies. I mean, not to mention if they sign him, and they're immediately going to lose that Nick Bolton, that linebacker. I know he's already been linked to like Cincinnati and all that stuff, which might start a chain reaction, might free up Trey Hendrickson. But as far as the Bears go on that, say hypothetically they do sign him and it comes down, it's almost catastrophic for the Bears. You're probably going to have to overpay for Drew Dahlman. You're probably going to have to reach for a guard at 10. You know, whether you think Booker's going to go that early or not. I mean, you're going to have to take him, or try to trade back up. It takes somebody and then try to trade back up using them 2-2s just to get back in the first so you can lock up a guard. I mean, that could start a bad chain reaction for the Bears.
Well, Uncle Brian, he brings up some good points here. He brings up some very good points because we were kind of talking about this we were talking about this before the show, about if we don't get Trey Smith in here, we're kind of looking at some average and best guards here. We're going to go over here in just a couple of minutes on who the backup plans could be.
Brian didn't leave much meat on the bone for me.
Sorry about that.
When, like most of us, I look at over the cap and see where Kansas City is, and then you see, what the rate is for guards and all like that, and it don't add up. I don't see how they can do it. But then again, I'm not a professional accountant either. And another thing that nobody said is maybe Smith is willing to take a hometown discount with KC that he wouldn't with other teams that would make him a little bit more affordable. I mean, honest, if they offer him, say, 18 to 20 million a year as opposed to 22, 25, what is that extra $4 or $5 million? How's that going to affect his life? Really, what can he do at 18 million a year that he can do with 22? I mean, I realize it's more, but still, how many gold toilets do you need in your mansion?
Gold toilets.
Something else. It's also like what you hit on too, Matt. It's GM speak. Naturally, he wants to say that. His agent would definitely want to say that because he wants teams to get in a bidding war, and the highest bidder wins. So yeah, it kind of sucks because we all think Smith is the top guard, and that's what the Bears need. But at the same time, anything that gets hit out in the media and all like that, I'm taking it with a grain of salt, with a possibility. We knew this from the get-go that we may not sign him. I mean, guys, they're either chasing the rings or chasing the money, but also at the same time, he may be comfortable being in Kansas City where he don't have to move his family. I don't know if Trey Smith has any kids, but you talk about changing schools, home buying, and what that does to a family. All that comes into all these free agents. So I mean, we can all have our wants, but it still comes down to what the player wants.
Everybody in the chat too going talking about the Chiefs. We got one here from Dave Rigdon saying go with Zeitler, Becton, and the center from Atlanta, which is Drew Dahlman. We're gonna get to that here in just a second because Drew Dahlman would be the next domino. I think would be the fall if Trey Smith, whether he goes back to Kansas City or not. But I think that's gonna be the next one. You know what's interesting? You bring up a point here, Brian, and maybe you guys. This is what I'm thinking. You're talking about a guy that they're going after the money, or do they want to stay for that hometown discount? Especially when you're with the Chiefs, you're going to be in championship caliber team. You're going to be competing for a championship in the playoffs every year. But think about this for a second with him. And I know we talked a little bit about this too before the show started. The dude was a 6th-round pick. This is going to be the most amount of money he's ever going to make. Probably the most amount of money he's ever dreamed of ever wanting to make. And he's going to set the market for this. And with a lot of teams, a lot of good teams out there that are looking for help on the offensive line, I think by setting the market, at first you think of $21 million for a guard. I think he's going to get more than that. I think there's going to be teams that would be desperate enough to pay between $23 and $25 million. So to what you said, is he going to want to take that hometown discount, or is he going to want to play for a championship or go take that money for whatever team is going to play him? And I think it's going to be him and him alone at the top, unless you guys think Drew Dahlman to me would be the next guy that's going to fall in after that. That guy that I think we're going to be looking after for center, but I don't think he's anywhere as good as Trey Smith is. I think
No.
Dahlman's a good player. I think he's a good center, but he's not a top center in the league to me. And I think that the drop off is going to be pretty big. What do you guys think?
I agree with you. Dahlman is a drop back or, center, but yeah, it's a drop off. Trey is definitely at the top.
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody's a drop off though. Trey Smith is just far and away better than everybody else that's going to be on free agency. Dahlman, I mean, he's probably looking at maybe 11, 12 million. I mean, you thinking of Trey Smith, he's worth more than double that. So it's kind of, the money speaks. Brian hit on a good bullet point though, too, with the coach and GM speak right now. They could just be posturing. I mean, just like, hey, we tried to sign this guy, fans don't get mad at me. So, I mean, that's something else that they need to look at, but or need to think about. I mean, he could just be posturing. But as far as like Zeitler and I mean, Tevin Jenkins might be the best one available with his age. I mean, whether he can stay healthy or not, it's totally different things. But I mean, Zeitler, I mean, was he 34? I mean, he's better than Jenkins right now. But I mean, let the guy grow. I mean, Zeitler's going to be there 2 years. Jenkins could get 5. It just depends on half a dozen one, 6 of the other.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing again, Trey Smith, him being the top target, if you was able to pick up, say, Dahlman and say Zeiler for almost the same price, who's to say that isn't a better way to go to begin with?
And draft.
Yeah.
That
And
would
they
be
hit the draft.
Yeah, you have to hit them draft picks though if you do that. I mean, you start drafting older. I mean, you might have to get 2 guards or something like that in the draft. Who's to say they're not planning on doing that anyway? But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why I
Well,
think
and
Go ahead, Brian.
what we talked a little bit earlier. The Bears, they're fortunate enough where this draft is at its strongest is at the Bears' needs.
definitely.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, especially with the guards. I was gonna say this year, I think this year more than ever, this is a draft that you really, really have to hit on with the depth in it, especially the depth in the guards, the depth in the running back, and the depth in the defensive line. And we're gonna do a mock draft here in just a little bit. And we hope you guys can draft with us and let us know how we're doing. So we're gonna get that started. So thank you guys for watching here, Monsters at the Madhouse. Video you're watching, please go ahead and share that to your friends and tell everybody about it. You could like and subscribe also on our YouTube page. Click that notification button. And we're talking about the guard play. So Trey Smith, for example, if we do not get Trey Smith, let's say if he does go back to the Chiefs, there are some other guards you could choose from that I think are a drop off. And you kind of alluded to that. We've kind of alluded to that already here. There are some, to me, it's kind of like a B level, but they're still better than I think what we've had last year. Now, Brian, you brought up a good point about Tevin Jenkins, if he's going to be the best one out of these guards. And I didn't even think about that for a second. But here are some of the names, and then we'd love to hear what you guys think, or who you guys think in the chat as well would be a better option. But the one that we've already alluded to in this show already has been Kevin Zeitler, who played with Ben Johnson last year in Detroit. I think he's going to be looking for probably a 1 to 2 year contract. I don't know, anywhere between $8 and $15 million. Mekhi Becton from Philadelphia, he had a pretty good year last year. I still have questions about him. I don't know if that was the fact that they had a really good line around him, or if maybe he figured something out. I don't know, but that's one to keep in mind. James Daniels is an interesting one because he was on the Steelers the last 3 years. James Daniels, I thought, was solid for them. I thought he played pretty well for them. And I don't know if that's something that would fit in Ben Johnson's system or if that's somebody they would go after. And the other guy that intrigues me is Will Fries from Indianapolis, who had a broken leg last year, I believe. I believe he broke his leg last year. So it was a couple of 4 or 5 games he broke his leg. So he'll be coming off an injury. But that is a guy that I've always been kind of a fan of as well. I've always been a fan of the Indianapolis offensive line in general. And anybody you could take from the Indianapolis offensive line, I think could be a good fit. So those are the different names that you're going to hear about or to see pop up. So Plank, when you start thinking about some of the other guards that can come in, who's the one that stands out to you?
Well, I suppose Zeitler, and I said it the other day as well, but Zietler. I like the fact that he has, experience or whatever with Ben Johnson. I do like that. I know Jerome, he said he's more of a Band-Aid, and he's not wrong with that either. He is. But draft well and use him as a bridge or as a training. And I do like Will Fries from Indy. I would like to. I'm sure a broken leg won't be as hard to come back from.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how old Fries is. I know he's had a little injury history in the past. I wouldn't hate him. I mean, it's kind of underwhelming because I want Trey Smith. It's kind of like wanting Saquon
We all want
Barkley
him.
and getting Swift. But I mean, I could be sold one way or the other. But yeah, if you're gonna do that, God, I really have to. I mean, Tevin Jenkins is still the dude. I still think he's better than I would rather have him than Fries. Even he's just got to get his conditioning right. I know he keeps saying that every offseason that, oh, I'm finally doing this, I'm doing Pilates and stuff like that. My back's finally normal. And then, midway through the first quarter, he goes down again. But yeah, Zeitler, he's not bad. But I think you have to, like you're saying, you have to hit on the draft. I just keep spinning the wheels, man. It's everything's just underwhelming when you start losing Trey Smith, and you just got to get that emotion out of it and just take it you can get, I guess. But they're all pretty comparable in their own way. You just got to spin the draft a little differently with each one of them.
Yeah, I like Zeitler out of the bunch. Granted, he's going to be old, but something else. Regardless of free agents and what you spend and how well you draft and all like that, the Bears are only going to be able to pick so many positions. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to be losing free agents too. They ain't going to be the same team they was last year, and they just won a Super Bowl. So I mean, every team is kind of in that to where you're not going to be able to fix everything all at once. It would be great to get Smith, but the possibility of not is something that's always been in the back of everybody's mind. With me, like I said, Zeiler, yeah, he is long in the tooth, but he could probably give you at least a year or two. You still got, next year's to get a guy that, you could groom maybe a year behind Zeeler if you signed him for 2 years. The fact that he has worked with Johnson is a big plus, and I think that's something with free agents that coaches and especially us having a new coach that they probably would like to work with guys that they're familiar with, players that they've used because they know their mindset, what makes them tick, their work ethic, all that stuff. So I mean that comes into play. Would it be nice to have a bunch of Pro Bowlers on every position? Heck yeah. But I mean you can only afford so much, and all that comes into play. As far as Becton, I ain't too thrilled about him because anybody that's had a bunch of injuries and then the last year of their contract they play well when you're surrounded by supreme talent. I'm not impressed by that. Will Fries, yeah, he would be a solid player. He ain't going to be somebody that you write home about, but he's a solid player, and I think he's 27, 28 years old, somewhere around that.
Okay.
So I mean, he could give you a few good years. Brandon Schriff, kind of like Zeiler, a little long in the tooth, but a solid player. Now I know he got hurt last year, but again, because you're going a little bit lower tier than Smith, you're also not paying as much, which means that gives you money to fill another hole cheaply. Daniels, good player. I don't know what the deal was when he was here. I mean, drafted him to be a center. That didn't seem to work, but he seemed to do all right as guard. But this is a whole different coaching staff and even front office. So maybe he would be interested in coming here again, if he goes to the highest bidder. But the one thing is with the draft and with free agents, even if you don't get the guy that your heart set on, there is options. It's not like, we throw our hands up and give up.
I like this
I
one.
forgot
It
to
says Jason
go ahead.
Peters. Jason Peters is going to retire, isn't he? Didn't he just announce that?
Yeah, he just announced retirement today, I think.
All right. Yeah. All right. We see where you're
And he's
going
my
now,
age.
man. Jason Peters.
I
What's he,
forgot to
like
touch on
70 right
Mekhi
now?
Becton. Yeah, Mekhi Becton, man, he went to University of Louisville, so we're very well familiar with him. I know he's a first round pick, and played tackle. He ran really fast at the combine, but his conditioning has always been a factor, and he gives me solid Nate Davis vibes, and I don't want any part of that. I would avoid that guy like the plague. I heard Courtney Cronin, I think, today on Waddle and Sylvie talk about how they're never going to sign another Nate Davis. And
I hope
I
not.
think to that Mekhi Becton is a Nate Davis.
Yes.
Boy, we don't want to hear that name again, do we? Nate Davis,
Right.
man. We don't want to go there, and we don't want to bring the show a little bit down here today, guys.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, guys. At the end of the day, I have a good feeling Trey Smith's going to come here, but a week ago I felt a lot better that it was going to happen. So we'll see what happens with the Chiefs do here. I think we're going to know a lot more here over the next week on not just what the Chiefs are going to do, but what every team in the league is going to do when it comes to free agency, which, by the way, starts on March 10th for the free agency. Thank you guys for watching. I see y'all in the chat room. We got Foster Covers. We got Craig in there. We got Brandon. Darius is in there too. Darius, what's going on, man? We hope you're doing well. There's Erica. So thank you guys so much for joining the show tonight. We really appreciate it. And you can share this video and share that to all your friends and all your Bears friends and let them know about our show. We got new shows popping up all the time, and we're happy to have you along with us. Are you guys ready for the mock draft tonight? So we're going over the linemen. We're going over free agency. And we said how important the draft is for this year and how important it is for the Bears to hit on this. I need you guys to help because the last couple I did, I think I was better with Beerlissimo on Sunday. I did a pretty good job, but I'm going to give all the credit to him because he was the one that was making the picks that I was like, man, I was like, the picks you're making right now were a lot better than the ones I made the first time around. So I was a bad GM. So I think you guys are going to be a better GM, and the people in the chat are going to be a much better GM than I normally am here. So, all right, guys, we're going to get this thing fired up. Are you guys already thinking about who you're thinking in your first round at pick number 10 or if we trade it away? I think you guys already got that in your mind, right? Or at least you're thinking about it.
Yeah, it depends on how free agency goes, but is this with or without Trey Smith on our roster?
Let's just say we got Trey. We're getting Trey Smith, damn it. Let's just say that.
Keep the good vibes going.
Right.
Yeah, let's keep the good vibes going, guys. All right. So I believe do you guys see it all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. And I think I can maximize this just a little bit. Or that's a little too much. I think I did a little too much there. All right. There we go.
There you go.
All right. As I'm playing around here with the mock draft. All right, guys, I'm going to get this started here. We're going to go 7 rounds, and I got the Bears highlighted. Here we go. We are going to enter the solo draft. And I wonder if Cam Ward. Oh, Shedeur Sanders is going number 1 first. Interesting. They have a dual Carter going 2 to the Browns. I wonder if he's going to be the 2nd or 3rd pick in the draft. I'm interested to see where he ends up. All right, guys, this is the very first trade offer. We got 4 trade offers, so I'm going to go over them very quickly, and then you guys just start shouting out and let me know what you think, if a yay or a nay, or if we stick at number 10. So the first one's from the Broncos. They're offering pick 20, 51, and 199. We also have one from the Packers, 23, 54, and also in 2026, a 2nd and 7th round pick. Let's go to the Cowboys. This one is a little more intriguing to me. It's pick 12 and pick 44. And then the Seahawks are going to offer pick 18, 50, and 173. So does any of those entice any of you guys or anybody in the chat, or do we stand put at number 10?
Who's available at 10?
Well, we still have Genty, I see there. We still have Mikal Williams. We got McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona, is still there. But it looks like Campbell and Banks have already.
I was going to say, if Campbell's gone, then yeah, I'd be interested in the Cowboys one.
The Cowboys is intriguing because you're going from 10 to 12, but you're also losing a 70 pick.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big gap because I think you go from 72 to 142 or 147 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge gap.
Well, I mean, and if you make that trade
That
with
is
the
a very big
Cowboys, you're going from 44 to 140 something. So that's almost 100 picks in between.
Yeah,
That Denver one, what was that? 18 and 50 and 173.
Denver right here. 2051 and 199.
that's not bad either.
Well,
Especially if Booker's there.
Seattle's a better offer.
Here's Seattle, 1850 and 173. I think Seattle's a little bit
I
better.
do too.
But I'll let you guys make that decision. What do you
Let's go
think?
with Seattle.
See, Billy Osha says we're looking at the chat. He's saying Cowboys.
He wants top heavy.
Billy says Cowboys. Yeah. What's the final verdict, guys? What should we
I
do?
say Seattle.
Yeah, I do
I'm
too.
I'm good with Seattle.
All right, here we go. We're going to accept Seattle. Our very first one of the day. Let's see if what falls to us. I see Genty's still there. We got 3 trade offers. We got Tampa. It says 19 and 84. We can go to Miami, giving us a lot here for 40. I think this is a little too much, further down though. 48, 98, 115, second and third. And then we got the Cleveland Browns, 33, 67, and then their 2026 second and fifth.
Tampa Bay,
I don't know. Tampa looks kind of intriguing, but
you're only moving down
back
one.
down one.
Yeah, I mean, is there 2
Yeah.
guys there you want? I mean, if they jump up one, are they going to take the one guy that we have? Who we got on there?
Membo, we still have Membo, I see, as an offensive line. We got Derek Harmon from Oregon, who I'm a big fan of, the defensive line, and Genty's still there as the running back as well. From what I see on my end.
Yeah, take the Tampa. That's what I would do.
You guys got Tampa? All right, here we go. Tampa it is. Another trade. I don't know how much further we go down after this. I think as soon as you got, in my opinion, once you go outside of the 20, outside of 20, I think that's going.
Yeah, I think you're just pushing your luck at that point.
Yeah, it's time to make a pick.
Yeah, I agree. Who's there, Genty?
All right, So here's the best of what they have to offer according to their draft. So they got Genty, Membo, Harmon, and Ravel, the cornerback. Or I can just keep it to offense, which I think that's what we're looking for on our end. We got their offensive tackle from Missouri, Genty, and Simmons, who I'm a big fan of.
I love that guy.
I see Simmons actually gaining a lot of steam.
Yeah, he had a broken leg too, though, didn't he? Ain't that was his issue?
No, I think ACL.
He did. He was
his ACL. Okay.
Was his ACL? I know he did have some.
Yeah, he was listed as like the top tackle
Jerome
coming in, and then he like messed his leg up, and then he's got potential.
Keep in mind with Josh Simmons, he did get injured early in the season.
Yeah, so he should be healthy.
I don't know, guys. I think you see an offensive tackle there. Yeah, and I like his aggressiveness too. The games that I've seen him play. I guess the injury would be a little bit of a question mark, but Genty is a guy that's intriguing to me. But at the same time, offensive tackle, I think is going to be a big.
Yeah, I like Simmons better. I think he's more of the left tackle than the right tackle from the dude from Missouri.
Well, see, to me,
what are you, Plank? What do you think?
Well, I agree. I like Simmons.
To me, I think Chicago is weaker at the guards and center than they are tackles, but not, if you can improve any position, go for it.
I see ACL can end career, so that can be an injury to watch. Get that D tackle. I see Antmus and get that D tackle from Oregon. Harmon, that's another guy to keep an eye on.
And Booker's already gone, isn't he?
Booker's gone already. Correct. Yeah. I don't know, guys. I still think offense. I'll let you guys decide here overall, but I think I'm leaning towards tackle.
If I'm picking from that list, I've been going with Membo.
Membo, okay.
I like Simmons, but
other Brian Simmons. Plank. I'm gonna have you do you're gonna be the one that officially decides our pick.
Well, I had already said Simmons.
All right. So I think it's Josh Simmons. It is going to be our first pick of the draft.
It's not my career on the line.
Damn right, it's all of our careers on the line. What do you think, man? It's all of our careers. If we have a bad draft, we're all going to be fired. So no more drafting hurt. Oh, I like this comment right here from Erica. No more drafting hurt players.
Right.
Erica was Membo too. There's another one. All right, guys. So here we go. This is our next pick. It's pick 39. Now we got two trade offers. One's from Buffalo at 56 in the 2026 second round pick, and the other one here from the Rams. They give you multiple picks, but I also think this is going further down a little too much. Pick 90, 100.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I don't like either one.
I don't know, guys.
I go ahead and pick.
I don't like either one either. I think I'm just going to go ahead and accept. I'm just going to go ahead and reject this. Because I think 39. Again, this is a big draft. I think when you have some of these higher picks, like a pick 39, I think this is where you have to stay at. So we're gonna go ahead and reject it. All right, so I'm gonna. I guess I'm gonna go to all right now, and I think you guys can see that. Okay, and this is according to their stats and their projections. They have Barron from Texas is the highest right now. I think a tight end is going to be another important position for our team, and it's funny because Burlissimo selected. We had a tight end. He selected a tight end in our draft in the second round, which I haven't seen any of mock drafts having a Bear select a tight end in the second round. But I think it's a position of need. But this is another one I'm looking at right here. Shamir Stewart, who I see is popping up on a lot of mock drafts, the edge rusher from Texas A&M. So I'll go around the room and what do you guys think?
Well, Amos wants us fired.
What's that?
Amos just fired a few GMs here, he says.
It's not me,
no,
guys.
It's me.
Not me.
It's
So
me. Simmons was not the happy pick.
Uncle Brian, we're gonna have a talk about this after the show.
Hey, it wasn't me either. I said Membo. Getting with that Shamar Stewart, man, the guy's got all the measurables in the world, and when you watch his tape, he gets past the line, but it's like when he gets to the quarterback, he don't know what to do. His tackling totally sucks. Now, again, that's something that coaching can take care of, because when you look at everything else, he's off the charts.
What do you think of Brian?
Honestly, I'm not high on any of those guys. Is there somebody else on there? Maybe I want to go. I'd like to have an edge or even another guard.
We got Jackson.
Landon Jackson, I love that guy. He's got a motor.
Landon Jackson.
Yeah.
Is 39 a little too high for him? I don't think he is, though. I think Landon Jackson would be somebody you would have to consider.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he really helped the stock at the Senior Bowl. They might have his rating a little low on this.
Now, everybody keep in mind, we got another pick, just two more. Well, one more.
Yeah.
Right, and Amos says we can look at the guard too. Now we did say this at the beginning of the draft. We're assuming that we're signing Trey Smith as we're doing this draft.
Yeah.
So think about that for a second. But I will bring up the guards really quick here. Are any of these guards standing out to you? Donovan Jackson, I think, would be somebody I would take a look at. But is there anybody else on this guard list?
Good. Is Gray Zabel there?
Zabel, let's see. I think I saw him get picked.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do they have him under, though? Is it guard, center, or tackle even?
Usually they've been listing him as tackle, but they said he probably could be the best center in the draft.
Best center,
there you go. 48.
Zabel right there, yeah. Offensive tackle, yeah. North Dakota State. Now we already did take a tackle as well, so
yeah, that dude's played everywhere though. I mean, he could play anywhere on that line, so you could just move him, plug and play. He could be left guard too, while you got Trey Smith at right guard.
He's your Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he's a dog too.
All right, guys, I'll go Zabel, North Dakota State. That's a good pick. So let's go with it. And here we go. Well, we got another trade offer here. Now this is just going to give us an extra pick. I don't. Let's see, Denver 47 and the Denver 3rd. We got the Philadelphia 64, and they're all going. For
both of those.
I don't like either one of them either. How about you, Brian or Plank? And you guys?
Yeah. I reject. Yeah.
Okay. But all right. So I think we go back to the defensive side, or do you guys think we should look at the running backs at this point?
Real quick.
Or anybody in the chat?
Real quick, Matt, if you don't mind, move over to my picks and see where else we pick, because I forget what the trades we made.
Right. Yeah, it is hard to keep track of that.
So here we go.
Thank you.
Here we go. Yeah. So we got 41-50. Yeah. Here we go. We got a few more. We got 41, 50, 72, 84, 173. So the ones we got in the trade are 50, 84, and 173.
Okay, Thanks.
What do y'all think the biggest drop off is? You think it's edge or running back?
I still think you could find a running back later, maybe. I think if we're still looking for that proper defensive lineman, that's the way we go. I'll let you guys decide on that.
I agree with
What do
you,
think?
Matt.
100%. Yeah, I'm an edge guy here. It's kind of where I'm thinking. Kind of lock in on that, and you got like Devin Neal and all them guys that
Landon
you can get
Jackson's still
later.
there. I see Landon Jackson's
Yeah,
still
I love that guy. I
Yeah,
mean,
out of that group that I'm seeing right now, Jackson would be the way I would go.
yeah, I'm not too high on Sawyer, but
Brian, you think?
I like Landon Jackson as well.
I do too. All right, guys, we'll go Landon Jackson.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you guys for watching the show tonight, Monsters at the Madhouse. You can share this video. Let us know what kind of GMs you think we are, and you can help us out in the chat as well. And here we go. We are now at pick 50. We have 2 trade offers. We got the first one from the Falcons, a lot of 2026 draft picks, but they're offering 117. They also have their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And then the other offer we have is from Denver. That's at 51 and 97, but they want our 4th pick of the 2026 draft. This one doesn't look such like a bad one, though. I don't think this one is terrible. Or do we stay put, guys?
You're only moving down one spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're only moving down one spot, and you're getting another pick for this draft, but we would have to give up another pick for our draft next year.
We're not worried about that one next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a Super Bowl in, right?
I'll just
So wait a minute. If we made that,
All right.
we made that trade, that gives us what, 6 guys in the top 100?
Yes, it sure does. Gives us another one.
Good call.
Mhm.
Yeah, I may go with that trade.
Yeah,
All right, let's just go. We'll go with it here. And
The hell with Green Bay.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
they can kick rocks.
Yes, they can.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Yeah, unless they're
None of these trades. I don't know about you guys or anybody in the chat. I'm looking in the chat too, what you guys think. But I see people saying running back next, so that's something we can look at.
Yeah,
But
we
I don't think
definitely
any of
need
these trades look very. All right, let's reject them, and I'm gonna go right to the running back guys. And
That's
see what we
fine.
got here for the running backs because this is a very good running back draft.
Caleb.
Caleb Johnson, Iowa.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. My eyes lit up right away when I saw
can't
his
believe
name
he's
too.
still
But I'll
there.
let you guys. Is there anybody else?
You fell backwards into that.
Yeah. I think I would draft Johnson and be very happy.
Yeah, I mean he's the David Montgomery
I
guy
can't
you
believe-
want.
We were talking about that before the show because we think Ben Johnson's looking for that David Montgomery type of runner to complement DeAndre Swift. So, all right, Caleb Johnson it is. We'll go with Caleb Johnson. And thank you guys here in the chat as well. I see a lot of people saying running back, so I don't think we took a running back 2-way. And we'll see what our next pick goes. But going into the 3rd round, and we were talking about this too, guys, that this is a draft this year that, by all accounts, has a lot of depth in it, especially on the defensive line, running backs, and tight end, which I was kind of thinking of next, but we'll take a look and see what we got after that. But Dallas wants to offer us another pick, 249.76 for 72. That means they're trying to drop up to grab somebody. That's the only trade offer we have. I think you could say yay or nay to this one. I think staying at 70.
Yeah, that don't impress
Yeah, I
me.
agree.
Okay, so we'll reject that. So is there any other position that you guys are looking at? I was kind of thinking tight end. I think we're going to have another tight
I
end
love thinking tight end.
on this team.
Yeah, I love thinking tight end. I also like the thought of speed wide receiver because we have a lot
Speed wide
of
receiver.
like possession guys or yak guys, and we need that guy to stretch it. So either one.
Okay, so this is receivers we got right now, guys. Any of these guys stand out?
I was also thinking defensive tackle.
I love Royals. Defensive
tackle would
tackle is
be
a
another
good one too.
All right, yeah, Jalen Royals. I'm a fan of his. Let's take a look at the defensive tackle really quick here. D tackle. We got T.J. Sanders, Alfred Collins. Oh, Alfred Collins still there. Norman Lott's still there from Tennessee too. I'm biased because I live here in Knoxville, so I've seen him play, and I'm a fan of him. So.
Well,
But
what about the tight ends? Sorry, go ahead.
Alfred Collins, I believe he was number 2 at stopping the run. And as we all know, last year, the Bears wasn't too good at that.
we had an issue with that.
Yeah, especially when Billings went out.
Yes, we.
Yep, bingo.
Yeah, we had an issue with that. So, let's you said tight ends. Let's take a look at the tight ends here really quick. We got Gunnar Helm, we got Arrow of Miami, and then Terrence Ferguson of Oregon too. I've watched him. Arrow a little bit watching Miami last year. How about let's say you guys?
Can you scroll down a little bit, see who all else?
Yes,
there was somebody.
Mitchell Evans. I know you're a Notre Dame guy, and Luke here from Iowa is another guy I'm a fan of.
Yes, it looks like that there's a few good tackles left. You may be able to pick one up. Let's see. Our next pick is 91, isn't it?
Yeah, next pick is going to be all the way down. Or
97,
further down. No,
okay.
97. 97 after the trade. Yeah, so this could be a little bit, not too big of a drop off. I'm sorry, 84. I passed this up. No, we got 84 after this. So not much of a drop off at all. So yeah, I think listen, I think D tackle would be a position here or tight end. Either one of those.
Yeah,
two.
I would go
I'll let you
with
guys-
Alfred Collins and then see what tackles or tight ends available. That's just me.
All right, Alfred Collins. Where do we see him at? That was D tackle. Was that D tackle or where was that? Where was Collins
You
at?
probably got to
D-tackle,
scroll up. Anytime,
Yeah, there he is. Yes.
anytime
Texas.
that you're at a position and you scroll down, when you go to another position, you have to scroll back up.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I got that. What about you, Brian?
Yeah, I would go Collins or Royals. I really don't have a preference. As long as you get one of those guys, you can't go wrong. There's a guy from Oregon too, a defensive lineman, but he's going to be later on in the draft. He's a really big dude. He's like 340. Was his name like Jamari Campbell or something like that? Dude's stud, man. He's very underrated. But you can go Campbell's or get a speed guy like Royals, and just be happy with who you got. Or Collins.
We got Erica in the chat room saying Collins.
I like Collins a lot. Yeah, he's great.
Jerome too. Okay, so I think we'll go Collins.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Now maybe this will be the next one where we hear tight end. Hey, thank you guys watching Monsters of the Madhouse Chicago Sports Podcast. We're glad to have you guys along with us tonight, and you can like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and you'll get all the notifications popping in when we have our other shows. And this will be I think we already want to direct a Green Bay trade, right?
Reject.
No, not unless they're offering like 3 firsts, and it's going to really hinder them further.
Where the franchise ends up folding.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I don't think we worry about the 2026. I think it's all about this year and what kind of capital we get this year. And I'm not worried about grabbing another pick for next. So I'm just going to go ahead and reject both of them. And this will be the pick that I think we can start looking at for tight end.
I'm going to suggest another position, maybe not now, but
or
safety.
Yeah, that guy from Alabama is still sitting there. He might be there too.
I think safety is going to be something we definitely are going to have to think of, especially with the health of Brisker. I think he's going to be. He says he's healthy, but we don't know what he's going to be at. So I got tight end. We could look at this. We got Ferguson, we got Helm, we got Brinkstool, and then we can also go to the safety part here. And these are our safeties we're looking at between Bowman, Castro, Ransom, Moore. I remember watching a little bit of Moore in Alabama. And so what do you guys think?
He looks like they're judging him as a little bit of a reach right now, ain't they?
Yeah, a little bit. I think so. Safety, tight end. How about tight end?
Check tight end.
All right. I don't know, Brian. I think this is a pick where we think of tight end. Ferguson, Helm, Brinkstool. Does any of them stand out to you?
Not really. Helm. I mean, it's the low hanging fruit there.
Yeah. Or anybody in the chat.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got the chat.
Where's Luke from Iowa? Was it Louis or?
I think he was taken. I was looking to see if. Oh no, he's right there. Nope, he's still there. Yeah, he's another guy that would be on my list. I thought he's.
Yeah, they got him graded a little low too. I think, in my opinion, but not to say that. I mean, it's the grades that say everybody's going off of this though. It's what we have to go off of.
Now keep in mind we still got the 97th pick, which is only 13 away.
And he's rated at what, 205? Is that what I'm reading right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So is this where we take this or a safety? And
You
what do you guys
safety.
think?
What's the wide receivers looking like?
Wide receivers right here. We got Felton, we got Noel, we got Gladstone, and we got White. Pat Bryant, an Illinois guy too, which I think would be
Yeah, that's nothing to write home about. I'd go a different angle on that.
I mean, to me, if you're going by ratings, safety would be the way to go. Since again, we're 13
Yeah.
picks away from picking.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're going to go safety here.
okay. Which guy should we take, guys?
Who you like, Brian?
Ransom, Bowen.
Out of that group,
Bowman.
That-
Bowman's pretty good too.
Ransom, I guess.
I've seen it. Let's go with Ransom. Bowman, I've seen him climbing up a little bit in some of the mock drafts that I've watched, but I think I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So
I was going to say, an Ohio State player, they're going to be athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially after their defense last year shut out, especially the way they played in the playoffs. So I think that. So yeah. So here we come. We're coming up to pick 97. We have one trade offer from the Falcons, which I don't think.
No.
I think we stay with pick 97. And is this where we go with a wide receiver then, or is this where we go back to a tight end?
Check them both out, I guess.
What pick is this?
Okay, so let's go to
90.
This is pick
97.
97.
Third round or fourth round.
So we still got Luke. We still got our guy right there. We still got Helm right there as well. So we still got the two guys we were looking at a little bit earlier.
Yeah, nothing changed for tight ends.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. And then the wide receiver, we got Horton, Prather, and Felton. Felton I like from Maryland a lot. I think that could be somebody you would think of. But I think the tight ends look a little bit stronger.
Yeah. We also got to think about linebacker, too, if we ain't going to replace Sanborn. Ain't he free agent?
He is a restricted free agent, so if they did sign
gotcha.
him, they would have to get some kind of compensation, I believe. Or it may be the right to
match.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking tight end.
Yeah.
But I'll let you guys.
Let's go with tight end.
Yeah.
Chat. Likely now, Erica says it.
Yeah.
Signing.
Chapakeepa said Ransom. Ransom. Okay. Likely Ransom. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to tight end. And we're going to go ahead and take them. All right, guys. Pick 97 is in, and we are going to the fourth round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Thank you guys for watching Monsters of the Madhouse Chicago Sports Podcast here tonight. This video, you can share it along. Let us know how we are doing here as GMs of the Chicago Bears in our draft and our mock draft. What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? We'd love to hear your opinions. And I think there's a lot wrong that I've done so far in some things, but I'm feeling pretty confident in our draft.
Yeah,
so
I am
far.
too.
Yeah. I felt good ever since.
Now, linebacker,
Go ahead.
whoever said linebacker, that might not be a bad idea to think next.
Yeah.
Or here's an interesting one. What about quarterback? Do you go in like the 6th or 7th round? For a quarterback, which I never heard any talk of? Just throwing it out.
Well, I know they say draft quarterback every year, but Chicago, all three of our quarterbacks are young.
Yeah, I think you get one undrafted just to feel the need to get through the rookie camp.
Well, yeah, if you want the defense to beat up somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Jeromy says D tackle was that talked about earlier. Yes, we talked a lot about that earlier in the draft. So, and that might not be a bad idea to even go after another defensive tackle or another edge rusher at the same time. So we don't have any trade here, guys. That might not be Jeromy might be onto something there as we're talking about other positions. I think that you can't go wrong with another edge.
Yeah, any line help on either side is, just being smart, really.
So are you guys thinking an edge rusher or defensive tackle? Here's what we got left here. We got Betty, we got Joyner, we got Williams and Walker as far as our edge rushers go. And as far as the defensive tackles goes, we got Peebles, Robinson, and Jackson in there as well. Anything that stands out to you guys, or am I missing a position? Maybe there's another position that I'm missing.
I mean, how we feel about Tyreek Stevenson? Do we need to draft a corner?
That's a good question. I do feel pretty confident in our cornerbacks though, and that's not a bad idea.
I like Stevenson's athletic ability. To me, he just needs to pop his head out, and I'm hoping that this coaching staff can do that.
Yeah, I like Smith as his backup too. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. 340-pound Jerome. Let's see if Jerome says 340-pound defensive tackle. And I don't know which one
He's talking about my guy from
Any one of these
Oregon.
guys. I don't know. I Oregon is that who's talking?
Yeah, I brought him up too. He's 340. He's huge. He actually gets pushed too. I don't know if he's still available or not.
No, he is not. I think I know who you're talking about too. I didn't see him either.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm thinking maybe Peebles or Barrow or an edge rusher or one of these edge rushers. What do you guys think?
Who's available on the O line?
Well, we can go there too. We have offensive tackles. We got Nelson from Wisconsin, pretty good player. Dalton Cooper from Oklahoma State. And then if we want to go to the guard route, we got Marcus Tate of Clemson. We got Connor Colby from Iowa. Or the center route, we got Seth McLaughlin, Ohio State is the biggest one that they still have. That's a big drop off after Seth McLaughlin, according to their stats.
Tell you what, there's a guy that I've been watching a lot of tape on lately. That's he's a defense or is an edge from Boise State. I can't pronounce his last name at all. His first name's Ahmed. It's like Hassanian or something like that. He's like the first Egyptian guy ever to go in the draft.
Right here. Yep.
Yeah, he's a dog,
right here
man. He's been playing football about 3 years. He's really athletic. I got a soft spot for him because of the CrossFit connection. But I mean, he finished first in his region in CrossFit in Cairo. He's a dog, man.
CrossFit champion. Yep, I have his information up right now. CrossFit champion.
Mm-hmm. Well,
9.5 sacks.
There's your development guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a development guy. I mean, the fact they got him listed that low is shocking. He's been getting a lot of publicity lately, so I imagine he's going to move on up. But like I said earlier, I mean, it's just what we have to go.
Let's go with him.
But
yeah,
let's go with him. I like your gut. Let's go with your gut feeling then, Brian. We'll just draft him.
I like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. And you never know here between now 6th and 7th round. I feel like now it's just going to be like now you're kind of looking for of need or depth, or especially for depth. Yeah. And I'll pull up our here. I should actually if I can do that here. Well, once we get to our pick, I'll show you guys our picks so far of what we have taken here in the draft as we get ready for 204. First off, here's our picks so far, guys. We took Josh Simmons, Ohio State. Ray Zabel, North Dakota State. Landon Jackson of Arkansas, the edge rusher. Caleb Johnson, who I can't believe we fell to 51 at Iowa. Excuse me, sorry about that. Alfred Collins at 72. We got Lathan Ronson, safety, Ohio State. Luke Blakely of Iowa, and the edge rusher here, Ahmad from Boise State, which now brings us to pick 204. And do we stay on the defensive side? Do you think this is a position of depth now, where we go to the offensive side, maybe a center, maybe another guard? What do you guys
seeing think? Jerome on here saying wide receiver?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
We got Marcus, Clemson. Wide receiver, we probably should take a look at the wide receivers here. We got Antoine Wells, Jimmy Horn Jr., and Ja'Cory Brooks. I watched a little bit of I've watched some of the Colorado games of Horn. He's a very, very fast guy.
Yeah, Horn's not real big, but he's got some wheels.
He's got some speed.
Brooks is like that too. He's speed and big. He's got a little bit of both. I think he's from Louisville.
He is from Louisville. Yep. In your neck of the woods. So I think between Horn and Brooks, which one, guys?
Y'all let me pick the last one, so I'll lean on you all.
I'm leaning more towards Horn Jr. from Colorado.
Go for it.
All right. There we go. And we will have, I believe, one more pick here in the draft, and I'll show you what we've done here for tonight. Thank you guys for all the help, too, in the chat room. We'll see y'all. Thank you guys very much. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and you'll have all the shows popping up, as we have multiple shows here on Chicago Sports Podcast. More shows coming up this week, talking about the Bears, talking about everything free agency, which starts on March 10th. And then we got the draft afterwards, and we're kind of getting a little bit of a head start here with the mock draft. This is always so much fun doing the mock draft, which you guys could do that as well. profootballnetwork.com/mock draft. All right, guys, we got one more pick here at 239. I don't think it's a bad idea to get any more depth on the offense and defensive line. What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
maybe another offensive tackle. I don't think you can go wrong with drafting another tackle. I think there's going to be a lot of either tackle or center to me would be the one that you want to maybe look for a little more depth on.
Yeah, I kind of agree because I've kind of given up hope on Armagaji or whatever, Kieran Armagaji. I don't think he's going to be anything, honestly. He's kind of let me down at this point.
I don't think he really got a fair shake. I mean, the guy, came from Yale.
Mhm.
You was hoping that he could set for a year and just
Yeah.
learn NFL, get the coaching and strength, and then they put him in there. Well, yeah, he's going to look like crap his very first game. If you watch that game, it was against Minnesota. Minnesota had Cam Robinson as their left tackle that game, had as many penalties as Corinne did, and Cam Robinson was a first round pick and a seasoned vet.
Yeah.
Pick up some good
Sorry, I
points.
was watching a game yesterday. It was the Washington game. I turned it off when it was 2 seconds left. But
Of course.
yeah, he laid out a good block in that one, but he also gave up a really bad sack right before that play. So he was kind of, he was 50-50 on good plays on there, good versus bad. So I mean,
I see people in the chat. O-line.
yeah, I don't think no wrong with O-line.
I don't think so. I think another tackle, maybe like a Jalen Travis of Ohio State. I don't think you can go wrong with doing another tackle. If that's okay with you
Lock it
guys.
up.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. And then the second here, I'll be able to pull everything up. I think we do got one more pick after this. So this could be a position of either center, or anywhere on the defensive line. Where do you guys want me to go?
I don't know. I would go D-line over center. I think Doug Kramer's still under contract. I know he don't play a whole lot of center, but we also have Gray Zabel that could play, wherever you need him. Counting on him starting out at right guard, but he could also move inside, so he could cover some depth up with that, just shifting him around every now and then.
That Strombo, or however you pronounce his name.
Oh yeah, Ricky Strombo. Yeah, he's good. I really liked him coming out. I think he was a 3rd round pick to Washington.
Yeah.
So we could do another one. I could do Ty Hamilton here of Ohio State, or we can go a linebacker route. But I think another defensive tackle could.
Yeah, I go defensive tackle.
Yeah, Hamilton's fine.
Hamilton's fine with me too.
Let's do it.
And that might be it for our picks here. We'll see how this one plays out, and then we'll pull it all up, or it'll give us a big screen of all of our draft picks here at the end. And here we go. All right. Look at all those picks, guys. Look at all the trades we made for this draft, man. Look at all those picks.
We're going to cut some good players.
Yeah, man. How about that? So we took Josh Simmons, number 1. I thought was a good pick too. Is there anything that stands out to you guys?
I like the fact that we covered a lot of needs.
I agree.
Yeah, we definitely abused that system a little bit with the trades early. We got that, and then everything just kind of fell into place. I mean,
you play the cards that are dealt to you.
Absolutely, that's all you can do, right? And we took full advantage of it. I think early on, especially.
Yeah, I think so.
And this is just me. The only one that I disagree with basically was Josh Simmons. I wanted Membo, but I mean,
Membo.
So did the chat.
Which we saw that in the chat too.
Yeah, the only reason I kind of shy away from him is because Darnell Wright's got that spot locked up, and I don't know if he can move to the left. I mean, he can move inside, I guess, but I mean, he's a hell of a tackle.
When I say Membo, I'm moving him inside. I realize he's been on the right side. He's been a right tackle. So there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I want linemen that eat glass, raw meat, metal, got that attitude.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I want 5 Owen Kurtzes somewhere on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough guys. So all right. Well, thank you, Ed. So I'm very happy with the draft that we had tonight, guys, and we thank you guys for participating in tonight's draft. I think we're going to be in pretty good shape if we were all the GMs of the Bears. If all of us were the GM of the Bears, I think that we would be winning the Super Bowl next. All right, I'm a little out of reach here, but other than that, I think.
Well, just to add something else, if the Bears had a draft similar to that, you don't have to have a wonderful free agent signing either, because like I said, we covered a lot of areas or positions.
And I think his key is too is some of those trades that pop up, and it'll be interesting to see what the trades are in this year's draft and who's trading what or who's trading who, and that's what's going to be interesting here over free agency over the next couple weeks. To your point, what you said, Uncle Brian, about what free agents we're going to bring in, and I'm excited to see. So we got a lot coming up here on Chicago Sports Podcast. Thank you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe on our page, on our YouTube channel, and you get those notifications. Share this video with your friends and all the Bears friends that you know. We have more videos coming up, and I thank you guys. And it was great to be with all of you guys tonight, man. All four of us together,
definitely.
man. It was so much fun to have you
That was
guys.
great
with
I
us.
had fun. I did too. I had fun.
Hell yeah, we had fun, man. It's like I want to go now. I'm ready to go run like 5 miles, man, and think about this draft. And call it a night.
I've been fired, so I'll have to watch you run the 5 mile.
You did. Was you able to save that, Matt? That draft?
Yes, I still have it up here. Yep, I will
Okay.
send it out, man.
Because I'm just
I
I like to compare what all the mock drafts we did to what the real draft ends up being.
I like that.
Yep,
I like
will,
that
well,
idea.
Yeah, I'm 90.
Well, I'll certainly send that. Send that.
Yeah,
Out to you
I'm
guys.
90% though. We're trading back. I mean, I see that happening. If there's, unless they fall in love with Banks or Campbell Falls, I don't see a way that they can stay there and take that pick.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
and since they said that there's what, like 4 to 5 blue chippers, well, I mean,
Yeah.
picking at 10, you're not even going to have a chance unless you're giving up something. And right now, the Bears are great in cap and with picks, but you can't afford to really trade any draft capital.
No,
No, that's why that's why this draft's so important on what picks
Yeah.
we hit on, man. Because of this free agency class, like we talked about earlier, man. It's not glaring there like it's blowing people away.
yeah,
What-
that's what the insiders were talking about on NFL Network. They were talking about how 6 of these teams in the top 10 need quarterbacks. It's like, and there's only 2 of them that are going to be there for the draft. So it's like, what's free agency going to bring? And then after that, I mean, how are they going to spend this? Or are they going to try to trade back? I mean, because nobody's going to want to give them anything because there's no quarterbacks there.
Hey, if other teams want to fight for Aaron Rodgers, go for it.
Right. It's probably going to be Stafford and Kirk Cousins and all that.
Matt Stafford's going to determine this whole quarterback carousel. Matt Stafford's going to determine it all. Wherever he goes, if he gets traded and how much money he makes, it's going to be a domino effect below that once he gets traded. If he gets traded, which I think he's going to.
Rodgers said that he wants to go to the Rams. He said he'll bring Devontae Adams with him since it worked so good with the Jets.
Of course he will.
Yeah.
And Randall Cobb. Bring Randall Cobb with him too.
Yeah.
Get the whole staff.
Lazard.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellen Lazard. Yeah. Let's get the MVS too, who was with the Saints last year. Get them all together, man. Getting
Getting the band back together.
back together, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching the Chicago Sports Podcast. Sponsors of the Madhouse. We appreciate all of your support. And for Plank and Uncle Brian and the other Brian, I'm Matt Cooper. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you guys.
Peace.